Welcome to Present Poetry, a podcast where we sit back, relax, and enjoy some poets of the past and present. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to remind you that all of the material used in this podcast is either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear this week's featured poet. This week's featured poet is Julie Brandon. Julie Brandon is a poet, playwright, storyteller, and lyricist. Her work has appeared in Bewildering Stories, Corner Bar Magazine, Awakenings Review, Poetica Magazine, Writing of Love During War, Poem Anthology, Yisrael Chai, Anthologies Volume 1 and 2, Mini Plays Magazine, Of the Book Literary Journal, and Fresh Words. Several of her short plays and monologues have been produced both locally and in Great Britain, and 2 short plays will be presented on podcasts later this year. Julie herself lives in a Chicago, Illinois suburb. Today we are reading 5 of her poems, which she submitted through the form at our website, presentpoetry.com. This poem is called A is Not for Apple. It's not for albatross or aardvark either. Alone. Alone in the deepest, darkest place of my soul. In some past life, or the one before that, or the one before that. A million lives, perhaps. Someone left a thumbprint marked alone in my being. Try as I may, I cannot erase it. No matter how much therapy, self-help books, workshops on self-actualization, sweat lodges, prayer or meditation I do, it remains. All that changes is that my wallet is lighter and I feel a little foolish, alone. By all standards, my life is good, surrounded by love and kindness every day, but I know that I wear an invisible A upon my chest. I can always spot another. We pass and nod, seeing each other's pain, but unable to assist in the emotional surgery needed. When I try and explain, people tell me that I have lessons to learn in this life and I should be grateful for the experience. Really? Grateful for the monster in my closet that whispers into my heart that all is fleeting, that I am alone, set adrift on an ice floe with no map or paddles? It's hard not to shout and call them the fools they are, to hide the weeping, the longing, the need. I don't want comfort. I want change. I want the darkness to become light. But I agree and smile and attempt to sweep my fears away like crumbs off the kitchen table. So I pray to God, the goddess, anyone who has clout, that in my next life I will find that the lessons have been learned, the pain and fear removed. And then A can be for apple. This poem is called I Dreamed of the Sea. I dreamed of the sea, waves of blue, green, and gray, as they slapped the shore over and over. I ventured too closely, pulled in by a force I could not resist. Sand twirled around me, tossed about like so much flotsam and jetsam. When, at last, I let go, slid beneath the waters, my eyes open and my soul understood. Not a dream of death, or loss, or confusion, but one of release, acceptance, transformation. My soul rejoiced. I dreamed of the sea. This poem is called Black Again. We wear black, a lot of black. Fashion tells us it's slimming, goes with everything. It's trendy. Somehow that doesn't feel right. We wear black for we're in mourning, for the past, for now, for later. Even when the sun shines, when bright colors break through, when we're not sad, we wear black. For those we've lost, for those missing now, for those whose futures are uncertain. It's not fashion but reality. There's always loss, pain, grief, war. All that's missing is sackcloth and ashes. Our outsides reflects our insides, and so we wear black. This poem is called Paradise Lost. I'm cursed, he moaned. The gods conspire against me. My life swept away through rain and fire. What have I ever done to anyone? He demanded. Don't take anything that isn't mine. Keep to myself, minding my own business. Ragged and worn, he railed at the world. I had money once. Big house, nice car, pretty wife. Those hunkered around him looked skeptical. Catching their glances, he laughed bitterly. I am the master of all I survey. With that, he pulled the newspaper over himself, burrowed deeper into his cardboard box, losing himself to dreams of vanished wealth and vengeful gods. This poem is called But What Results? Two crows on a wire watched as I walked by, heads swiveling, eyes unblinking, intent on my progress. Perhaps they were an omen, or even second-tier messengers from Odin. Perhaps I missed important news or a warning, or an opportunity to save the world, or join the Norse gods in battle. My inattention could have global implications. Then again, they could have just been two crows on a wire, and I have an overly active imagination. I guess we'll never know. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Present Poetry Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like us, leave a review, or share us on social media. If you are a poet or you know someone who is, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us or submit your work through our website, which is www.present-poetry.com. Again, that is www.present-poetry.com. We can't wait to hear from you.